My mom's Filipino and she's like, oh, I want to go watch Alex Eala play like, oh my gosh, I want to watch. She's crazy about Alex. She's like, I'm going to come watch her when she plays on Thursday. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to be playing on Thursday. She's like, oh, yes, you too. Yes, yes. I'm going to watch you too. And I was like, what? Most athletes earn fans in the stands. Alex Eala earned one in the family, and not just any family, the family of a 4-time Grand Slam champion who was born right near Indian Wells. The story that just came out of the Players Box podcast is the kind of thing that makes you stop and genuinely smile. Nobody saw this one coming. Drop a comment below. Do you think moments like this, where the tennis community genuinely rallies around Alex Eala, say something bigger about her impact on the sport? Tell us what you think. Mom, what are you doing? Didn't you say that she wanted to make her a Filipino dish? Yeah. My mom went to US Open last year. Alex is obviously huge then. And she was like, oh, my gosh, I want to see Alex. Maybe I'll get a picture with her. But I also want a picture with Jenny. I want a picture with everyone. And I was like, okay, Mom, let's take it one at a time. But then obviously, when she knew Alex was playing at Indian Wells, she's like, I'm going to make her pancit, which is a famous noodle dish in the Philippines. And then lumpia, which is like these egg rolls. And I told Alex about it, and she's like, oh, my gosh, I would love that. And if I tell my mom that, my mom will probably make like 3 big bowls of noodles. So I don't know if I should give it to Alex, but we can have the leftovers. Let's just appreciate this for a second, because in a sport where the politics are real, where the pecking order is carefully maintained, and where younger players are generally expected to earn their place quietly before anyone really embraces them, Alex Eala has somehow managed to win over not just fans in the Philippines, not just casual tennis viewers who stumbled onto her Indian Wells run, but the literal mother of a WTA Grand Slam champion. And that mother, by all accounts, is absolutely obsessed. Desirae Krawczyk is a 4-time Grand Slam mixed doubles champion. She is a respected name on the WTA Tour. She co-hosts the Players Box podcast alongside Jennifer Brady, Madison Keys, and Jessica Pegula, which is basically a power squad of American tennis. These are not fringe names. These are players with Grand Slam titles, top rankings, and serious credibility in the sport. And when Krawczyk sat down on that podcast and told the story of her mom's fandom, she was not bragging. She was laughing because the situation had apparently gotten to a point where even she could not quite keep up with it. Here's what happened. Krawczyk told her co-hosts that her mother, who is of Filipino descent, has become completely devoted to Alex Eala, not casually interested, not mildly supportive, devoted, the kind of fan who tracks schedules and makes plans around match times. So when the tournament schedule at Indian Wells came out and it showed that Alex Eala was set to play Coco Gauff on Thursday, the same Thursday that Desirae Krawczyk herself was scheduled to play, her mom's response was something along the lines of, I'm going to go watch Alex play Thursday. And then, almost as an afterthought, she added, oh, and you too. Yes, you as well. Krawczyk's reaction was exactly what you would expect. Mom, what are you doing? And then she laughed about it on a podcast with 3 of her closest friends in tennis. Because what else do you do when your own mother is more excited about watching someone else play than watching you? The answer, apparently, is that you tell the story publicly and let the internet enjoy it, which the internet very much did. But this is not just a funny anecdote. There is actually a lot to unpack here about what Alex Eala's rise means, who it connects with, and why a moment like this lands the way it does. Desirae Krawczyk's mother is Filipino. That is the direct line between her and Alex Eala. The shared heritage, the cultural connection, the pride that comes from watching someone who represents your roots go out and compete at the highest level of a sport that has not historically had many Filipino faces in it. When Eala steps onto a WTA court, she is not just playing a match. For a lot of people watching, including apparently Krawczyk's mom, she is representing something that goes beyond tennis. And the beautiful irony of this particular story is that Krawczyk herself is part Filipino. She is not a stranger to that cultural identity. But her mom's reaction to Eala is so enthusiastic, so completely unfiltered, that even the connection Krawczyk herself has to the Philippines apparently does not compete with the excitement of watching Alex Eala play live. That is a level of fandom that most athletes spend their entire careers trying to build and never quite get to. Then the story got even better. Because Indian Wells also happened to be Krawczyk's home tournament. She was born in Rancho Mirage, which is right next to Indian Wells. This was essentially her backyard. Her home crowd, her family in the stands, and her mom, who had flown in or driven over to be there, was primarily there to watch someone else. The pancit and lumpia detail is the part that really got people talking. For anyone unfamiliar, pancit is a Filipino noodle dish that is genuinely a staple of Filipino cooking, the kind of food that gets made for celebrations, for family gatherings, for occasions that matter. Lumpia are Filipino egg rolls, and they are the kind of thing you bring out when you want to show someone you care. These are not snacks you throw together quickly, they are dishes that take time and intention. Krawczyk's mom reportedly said she wanted to make pancit and lumpia for Alex Eala, not for a party, not for a general gathering, specifically for Alex. And when Krawczyk mentioned this to Eala, her response was immediate and genuinely excited. She said she would love that. And then Krawczyk made the observation that, if she told her mom that Alex had responded that way, her mom would probably make 3 large bowls. Not 1, 3, because that is the energy here. That is the level of commitment this woman has to making sure Alex Eala is fed well and appreciated. The co-hosts on the podcast, Brady, Keys, and Peg Ala, apparently had zero objections to any of this, and were fully prepared to benefit from the leftovers. Which honestly tracks. If someone's mom is cooking Filipino food at that scale, you say yes, and you figure out the logistics later. Now, the funny part aside, let's talk about what this moment actually reflects about where Alex Eala is right now in the sport. She arrived at the 2026 Indian Wells Open as the 31st seed. She was the first Filipino player ever to compete in the main draw of that tournament, a historic milestone that got acknowledged but did not get the kind of wall-to-wall coverage that it probably deserved. She went on to reach the round of 16, beating players along the way and then pushing Coco Gauff, the 4th-ranked player in the world, into a retirement. That run generated attention. It moved her ranking to around world number 28 in the live standings. It earned her a seeded entry into the Miami Open, which means she enters with a first round bye for the first time in her career at a WTA 1000 event. These are not small developments. These are the kinds of things that change how a player is perceived and treated within the tour ecosystem. But the story shows something different. It shows that Eala's impact is not just about rankings or results or the cold logic of tennis statistics. It is about connection. People feel something when they watch her play. People who share her cultural background feel a specific and powerful kind of pride. And that pride travels. It reaches into families. It reaches into households. It reaches all the way to the mother of a 4-time Grand Slam champion who looks at the Thursday schedule and thinks, her match is the one I have to see. The WTA Tour has been around for decades. It has produced icons, Serena Williams, Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, players who transcended the sport and became global figures. The reason those players reached that level is not just because they won. It is because people felt personally invested in their stories. People felt like those players represented something bigger than tennis. Alex Eala is 20 years old. She is ranked in the late 20s. She has not won a Grand Slam singles title. She has not won a WTA 1000 event. By the raw numbers, she is a rising star who has had a very impressive run recently, but who is still climbing. And yet she already has the kind of fan loyalty that most players never develop even after long decorated careers. She has crowds at practice sessions. She has practice videos getting 6-figure view counts within a day. She has a Grand Slam champion's mom planning a 3-bowl Filipino dinner in her honor. That combination of athletic excellence and genuine human connection is genuinely rare. Most players have one or the other. The ones who build real lasting legacies in a sport tend to have both. Eala, to her credit, does not seem to take any of it for granted. Her public interactions with fans are consistently warm and genuine. She does not do the celebrity distance thing where you smile for photos and keep everyone at arm's length. She engages. She appreciates. And the response from people who follow her is that they feel it. The fact that Desirae Krawczyk was the one to tell this story also matters more than it might seem. Because Krawczyk is not some random fan account or an enthusiastic corner of the internet. She is an active WTA player, a Grand Slam champion, someone who is inside the locker room and inside the tour culture every day. When she sits on a podcast with three of the most prominent American players in the sport and tells a story about how devoted her mom is to Alex Eala, laughing about it, not complaining, clearly charmed by the whole thing, it signals that even within the tour, Eala has earned genuine affection. That is different from being respected as a competitor. Plenty of players are respected. They are a little bit feared, maybe a little bit admired, but the relationship stays professional and distant. What Krawczyk described is warmer than that. Her mom is not just watching Eala play because she is Filipino and playing well. She is enthusiastically devoted in a way that has clearly become a running joke in the Krawczyk household, and a story that Krawczyk genuinely enjoyed telling. Going back to what Eala herself said before Miami, she talked about knowing that she belongs, about being here to stay regardless of results. That kind of self-assurance does not come from nowhere. It comes from a year of building something real, match by match, interaction by interaction, in cities across the world where people show up in big numbers just to watch her practice. And now, apparently, it also comes from knowing that, somewhere in the greater Palm Springs area, a Filipino-American woman who raced a Grand Slam champion, is already planning what size bowl to make the pancit in. If that is not evidence that Alex Eala's story is genuinely resonating, in a way that goes far beyond what the rankings can measure, it is hard to know what would be. Miami is next.